Nick Diaz versus Vicente Luque is happening. Who's going to win this fight? Well, before we talk about who's going to win this fight, let's take a look at their latest performances, in which Nick Diaz fought Anderson Silva back in 2015, in which both went back and forth. Both had some great shots, but Anderson Silva outlanded Nick Diaz and ended up taking it by decision.
By unanimous decision, Anderson!
But then the fight got ruled a no contest since both tested positive for drugs. That is, Nick Diaz went on to fight Robbie Lawler for a second time back in 2021, in which Nick Diaz was doing great in the early rounds until he gassed out and Robbie Lawler took advantage and ended up TKOing him in round 3.
What a fight! Oh, right-hand connection from Lawler. That's it.
Let's take a look at Vicente Luque's latest performances, and when he fought Rafael dos Anjos, in which it was a very boring fight, but both of the wrestling and grappling was great, and Vicente Luque ended up taking it by decision.
All for your winner by unanimous decision, the Silent Assassin!
At this, Vicente Luque wanted to fight Joaquin Buckley, in which Joaquin Buckley striking looked great in round 1 and ended up TKOing Vicente Luque in round 2.
Warning from Keith Peterson. He's giving everything when he hammers his way.
Now, I don't know what's going on here because this fight makes no sense whatsoever, as there are so many reasons on why this fight is a joke. So let's start off with the fact that Vicente Luque is ranked number 14, and his last 4 fights have been against great and ranked fighters like Joaquin Buckley, Rafael dos Anjos, Jeff Neal, and Belal Muhammad, not to mention the fact that he's been very active, on top of the obvious fact that he is way younger than Nick Diaz, as he is 32 years old and Nick Diaz is 40 years old. So now, what can we expect to see in this fight? Well, considering everything I talked about involving Vicente Luque, on top of the negatives that Nick Diaz has going into this fight, like the obvious fact that he has not been active and he's way too old to be any good at this point in his career, so he could train as much as he wants, but it's not going to make a significant difference when he's up against a fighter who's in their prime and who has a lot to lose. So I'll be surprised if Nick Diaz can put up a good fight, and I'll be surprised if Nick Diaz doesn't gas out by the second round. So I got Vicente Luque easily stopping Nick Diaz.